So I went from a weight of around 110 kilograms all the way down to 85 kilograms. And I've slowly started building it back up with muscle mass. But yeah, I've been able to lose a significant amount of weight in around 4 months, right? And in this video, I'm going to tell you every single thing you need to learn on how to lose weight. So before we get started, if you can't even finish and watch this whole video, chances are you're not going to be able to lose weight, right? So just watch this video. It's a simple guide. It's going to teach you every single thing you need to learn about weight loss. And yeah, like once you leave this video, I really do hope you feel informed. And I'm going to tell you everything I did, everything I learned in order to lose weight. And I'm just trying to help people lose weight because I really didn't like the position I was in and I would have loved some help. So I'm just trying to be that help for other people. So the very first thing you need to learn is calorie deficit, right? So I'm sure you've been searching online on how to lose weight, whatever, and you've heard this term so many times, like calorie deficit, calorie deficit. So what is a calorie deficit, right? So basically, a calorie deficit is eating below the amount of calories your body needs or your body burns throughout the day, right? So let's say that today your body decides to burn 3,500 calories. If all you do is eat 3,000 calories, right? It could be of good food, it could be vegetables, it could be protein. Like all you do is eat 3,000 calories for that day, you're going to lose weight, right? So as long as you're in a consistent calorie deficit for a long enough period of time, you're going to lose weight, right? So another thing you need to learn that falls under calorie deficit is that your diet is the most important part of this weight loss journey, right? So most people think that, oh, I can just eat whatever I want. I'm just gonna go to the gym and train it all off. In theory, like, yeah, it sounds like that's the normal thing to do, but you can't actually like train off that many calories, right? Because you like when we lose weight, most of the calories we burn throughout the day, they don't actually come from the gym, right? Yes, the gym helps like you to burn extra calories, but in the whole significant part of the day, like the gym is actually a very small part of calories you burn, right? So if your diet is on point and you're not training so hard, you're going to lose weight. But if you're training really good, but your diet is not on point, you're not going to lose weight. So the most important part of weight loss is your diet. You need to make sure your diet is on point. So you need to figure out how many calories you're supposed to eat a day and make sure that every single day or like 90% of the time you eat below that number, right? So if your body burns 2,500 calories a day, you're going to eat 2,000 calories a day, right? So you have to make sure you find out how many calories your body burns a day and you eat below that number in a consistent amount of time. So how are we going to be in a calorie deficit? So first thing first is that we're going to try figure out how many calories we burn in a day. Okay? So when we're burning calories, there's something called our base metabolic rate. And this is how many calories we burn at rest for doing nothing, right? So this number is like if you just sit down on the couch and you do nothing the whole day, like you're just sitting there, your body still burns calories, right? Because you need like whatever. If you're living, you burn calories. So everyone's body is different, right? So I think for me, my base metabolic rate is 2,000, right? So the next thing is TDEE, right? So this is total daily energy expenditure. And this is how many calories we burn from like exercise and just moving, right? So if you go to the gym, that's part of your TDEE. If you like walk 10,000 steps, that's part of your TDEE, right? So yeah, like we need to figure out this number. So you can just figure out this number by simply just tracking your steps, tracking your exercises, right? Or like yeah, that's how you basically figure out the number. So if you walk 10,000 steps today and you burn 500 calories at the gym, let's say for the 10,000 steps you burned 500 calories and you burn 500 calories at the gym, that's 1,000 calories, right? So your TDEE is going to be 1,000 for the day. So you add that to your base metabolic rate, you add the 1,000 calories, that's 3,000 calories. And lastly, there's something called NEAT, right? So these are just calories we burn from just like going about our day, like putting on our clothes, taking a shower, all that. So like you can't really figure this out, like you can't really check, but you can just take an estimate. So it varies. Like if you ask Google, like, I was pretty active today, so what's my needs? It's anywhere between 500, 200. So just take like 300 calories, right? Me personally, I don't like checking this number. I don't like measuring this number because like it changes every day. You can't really measure it, right? But like I would usually, so just add 200, right? So your base metabolic is 2000 calories. You burn 1,000 from your TDEE and this 200 NEAT, your needs, right? So that's 3,200 calories. So if you're eating 2,800 calories, you're going to lose weight. If you're eating 3,000 calories, you're going to lose weight. So you just have to keep tracking your foods and tracking how many calories you burn throughout a day. So if you do this on a consistent basis, you're going to lose weight, right? So you need to make sure you're tracking everything. That's a very important part of weight loss. If you don't track anything, you're not going to lose weight. So you need to track your food, right? So how are we going to track our food? We're going to buy a food scale. We're going to put our food on the food scale, measure how much the food weighs, and then we're just going to check on Google how much does 200 grams of chicken weigh, whatever, and then you write that number in the document, right? You can write it on a piece of paper, whatever. Just keep that number down and write it. You do the same for your rice, whatever you eat, just weigh and then ask Google like that weight. You ask Google how much of this item does that weigh, how many calories in that, right? You just weigh and you write it down. Make sure to write it down and keep it somewhere. And at the end of every day, you just check how many calories you've been eating, right? So you just need to make sure you're extremely consistent with this. So the next thing is that your mentality needs to change, right? So I know I said that, yeah, dieting is the most important, but if you can't figure out your mind, if you can't hack your brain to lose weight, you're not going to lose weight, right? So chances are that you've been trying to lose weight, right? But your mindset has just been too poor. That's why you haven't lost weight. So if you conquer your mind and you're able to get over yourself and stop being like, oh, it's so hard, I can't do it, whatever, you are going to lose weight, right? So the biggest mindset hack that I know people face all the time is discipline, right? So I know so many people that they really want to lose weight, but they're unable to be disciplined. So you need to ensure that you get this on point, right? Because if your mindset is terrible, it's going to be extremely hard for you to lose weight. Discipline and consistency is one of the most important things you need to do to lose weight. So what I'm going to do is that down below, I have a course, right? And I go more in detail on how to bring out the best of your mindset, get your mindset better for weight loss, right? So if you've been struggling with mindset and you found that mindset was your hardest issue when trying to lose weight, just click the first link in the bio, okay? There's going to be a course and it's going to take you exactly step by step in detail how to lose weight, right? So get that. And the next thing is that you need to change who you are as a person, right? So if you've been fat and you've been wanting to lose weight for a long period of time, obviously you have to change who you are as a person because if the person you currently were was able to lose weight, you would have lost it by now. Okay? So when I say change as a person, your habits need to change, your mindset needs to change. The people you're hanging out around needs to change. What you do throughout your day needs to change, right? So most people think that losing weight is just this simple thing, like, oh, I'm just gonna lose weight. But you're so wrong, right? When you're losing weight, the biggest issue is that like your whole life needs to change. So if you used to binge eat with your friends in the middle of the night, not go to the gym and just like sit on your ass and play video games the whole day, you're not going to lose weight. Like that needs to change as a whole. Like if you and your friends are always going to eat McDonald's at 10 p.m. in the middle of the night and you're wanting to lose weight, that needs to change. If you're used to having these big, greasy fast food meals with your family and you're trying to lose weight, that needs to change. So the biggest issue I see that most people deal with is that they are unable to change their lifestyle, right? So yeah, losing weight, you can do it without changing your lifestyle, but it's not going to be sustainable. Like you have to change your lifestyle if you're trying to lose weight. You need to get new friends. You need to change the habits you do. You need to start getting into the gym, walking 10,000 steps, and you can't just eat whatever you want. And finally, the last thing, the most important thing in order to lose weight is that you need a bigger reason to lose weight. So I know most people they're like, oh, I just want to lose weight. And then they do it for a bit. But because they don't actually have a reason for themselves to keep going, they stop. right? So a reason could be that you want better health. A reason is because you want to look better. A reason is so that you become better at your sport. Okay? But at the end of the day, there has to be a reason. If all you're saying is that I want to lose weight because everyone thinks that like losing weight is cool, like chances are that's not a good enough reason to lose weight. Like for me, my reason was so that I can start looking better and feeling more confident. And every time I felt like quitting, I just thought about that in the back of my mind and I was able to lose weight, right? So you need to have a bigger reason to lose weight, right? So like some people just like you can't just lose weight for fun. Like unless if your discipline is like top tier, you can't just lose weight for fun. So you need a bigger reason. So